How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and in this video I will be answering your comments, and the date is January 3rd, 2021. So if you haven't done so, please smash the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's get started. Okay, so Alan Peterson says, keep going, you've got a long way to go regarding me and Pink Floyd. Yeah, Pink Floyd, there's a lot of stuff to Pink Floyd. It sounds very atonal. I haven't really ever been into atonal stuff. I experienced it like my freshman year in high school, and this wasn't for me. Many years later, I got into it in college, and I had a really good teacher, and he was all about that atonal stuff, and that is beyond me. So that's kind of why I'm pretty motivated to learn Pink Floyd, because I actually really want to understand it and how it all works. So yeah, next. Okay, Vepanen says, Shadow Dancing by Andy Gibb, #1 hit. Yeah, so that's really on my to-do list, Andy Gibb's one. I just haven't gotten around to that yet. I mean, really honestly, I've missed a lot of PG songs, so I'm kind of premature with the whole Andy Gibb thing, but I will, Vepanen, I will get there, I promise. Next. All right, Lexi O asks, I agree with your ranking. I think this was post-ABBA, both Agnetha and Agnetha, we'll get to that later on, and Frida had pre-ABBA albums full of charm, though much was in Swedish. Yes, Frida has some as well. I just realized that recently. Sorry, there's a lot of groups I'm kind of going through. Yeah, so my ranking is Skeeter Davis, then it's Agnetha, then it is Karen Carpenter. I know a lot of Karen Carpenter people can get angry about that, but it's kind of like what I've said in my video. I really feel like it sounds more like it has to be a much more of a childish voice. And I think Karen Carpenter was like 22 in that one, but still, even with that, her voice, in my opinion, doesn't sound young enough. It has to be a very immature sounding voice, like a teenage voice, in my opinion, for that song. Next. Ravenna AI, or is it Ravenna Al? You said that you can't describe the beat or sound. Well, nobody else can either. We simply say it's the sound of ABBA, and everyone knows what that means. Oh yeah, Chiquitita definitely sounds like ABBA. They definitely do have a sound, and it is pretty hard to describe anything that sounds kind of Dancing Queenish. But off the top of my head though, cause Dancing Queen is kind of like, when I think ABBA, it's Dancing Queen, right? There's not really anything I can think of that's not ABBA that sounds like Dancing Queenish, So yeah, I guess I can't really describe it. It's just the sound of ABBA, right? Next. Raven AI, again, I guess I got your comment twice. In an interview once, Agnetha was asked how to pronounce her name. It's pronounced like saying Enyi and Yetta together fast, and Yetta. So I did watch a video of that, but you know what? I've heard people say Agnetha, so maybe I was wrong and I'm an idiot, but I feel like I've heard that before. But yeah, from now on, I will say Agnetha. I will say it. I watched the video. I watched the video of her telling us how to pronounce her name, and yeah, I will get it from now on. Next, Jim Davis says, I was at this show at 18 years old. I passed out drunk by the first song and woke up under a pickup truck. No memories. You know what though? I think that's really cool that you got a great story like that at this concert. It was a really awesome thing to watch right here. I definitely really like the end with the huge gong and the fire ring around it. That is just cool. I mean, if you're gonna play gong, that's how you're gonna play gong, and that's probably one of the instruments in percussion that I've always wanted to play, because you get to play, what is it called? I think it's the club, right? They use it's called a club, and before it's even happening, every time I've seen it, when I was in bands and orchestras, symphonies, whatever's, is they kind of gotta warm it up, they're like warming up that gong, and then they're like, bam, or bam. But you know what? I think it's a lot harder than it looks, because it has to be not too loud, not too soft, but just right every single time. So that means they gotta know exactly how hard to hit it every single time, which sounds easy, but I don't know, I don't know, I'm not a percussionist, don't ask me. Next, Teresa Ewald on Barry Manilow's Looks Like We Made It. I think it's a flugelhorn in the beginning. Okay, so I listened to it over and over, and I think you're right. I think it is 2 flugelhorns. The only thing that's weird though is how often do you have 2 flugelhorns playing? I mean, you rarely ever even see that thing, let alone 2 of them in a song. I'm not saying it's not 2 flugelhorns. I'm just saying, isn't that weird? 2 flugelhorns, right? Now on that, is there any way to make a trumpet sound? Oh no, you can't really make a trumpet sound like that. That would be... and I feel like an idiot not knowing it was not a trumpet. But you know what though, it just, I don't know, I kind of just glazed over it. It just sounded like a really good sounding trumpet to me. You know, hey, these guys are pros. They should know exactly how to do that stuff, right? Next. Tony Schmidt says they captured magic in a bottle with this performance, speaking of Van Halen's Unchained. You know, I really like your description of that. Captured magic in a bottle. I mean, I just want you to know that your description of it is really good. Capturing magic in a bottle. I mean, it's just fun to just think about that, right? Capturing magic in a bottle. It kind of makes me think of like, you know, all that potion-y stuff like witches and lords and voodoo magic type stuff. Tony, very nice words. Next. Helen Peterson says, would love you to do the version of Morris with ex-wife Lulu. The video version, of course, it seems to have much more emotion to it. Speaking of Bee Gees' 1st of May, I did not know that there was a version of Morris with his ex-wife Lulu. But I just want you guys to know that, you know, everyone was saying it, and I want you to know that I already downloaded the video, and I'm gonna get to it. Okay? I'm gonna get to it. Next. Okay, so this last one, I'm only doing 10 comments today. Federica Lind, I liked it because it was different. Also, UFOs were a big thing back then. Speaking of Karen Carpenter's calling occupants of interplanetary craft reaction. So I can't remember who it was, but they kept saying, do the occupants of interplanetary craft reaction. Like, I honestly thought that was a joke. Like, I looked up the video and I looked at it and I was like, some weirdo just like put this together type thing. That's what it looked like to me. And so I didn't really think it was a real thing. So I kind of ignored it for a while. And then what made me do it? Oh yeah, the whole Area 51. How they were gonna do the whole dash on, or they were gonna do the whole rushing Area 51. That whole thing kind of got me into it and made me do it. Yeah, I think it's really weird. I love Karen Carpenter's voice and I love Richard's writing. Richard's writing is great, but this one's a little far out for me. Like, yeah, it's a little far out for me. Like, I'm kind of like listening to it, and I just don't know what to think about it. It's kind of look. I feel like the exact same way when I listen to this song as I do when I listen to Pink Floyd. The only difference is I feel like after like 10 songs with Pink Floyd, I feel like I'm kind of getting a little bit more. I don't know if I like watch this 10 times, if I would like get to know it better or anything like that. So yeah. Anyways, hey, that's it for this video. 10 comments. Yeah, tell me if you guys like this or not. I kind of like doing this. That's the only reason I'm doing it. But hope you guys have a great year. Hope all's well with you guys. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.